we'll get started. So I'm not going to go through the usual, but I'm Brittany Carruthers. I'm Field Marketing Specialist here in the East Bay. Today we're going to go over, and I don't know why it's not all showing here. Sorry about that. We're going to go about the website wizard, how to set that up, go over pages and how you can add custom widgets, communities, testimonials, and your about. And then we'll also go about adding videos and adding market reports. And I'll show you a little fun adding advanced options. So you can do things like open house search and have a page just for that. In the recap that I send you, these slides, I have some helpful links. If you've never checked out the Help Center of InTouch, it's fantastic. I always say I'm mainly a like 90% self-taught InTouch instructor, but I just want to give you some great custom or some great links here that take you to the step-by-step that InTouch has. So this class is mainly going to be totally almost a demo. So to update your website, what you need to do is locate your InTouch, of course, and head into your homepage here. From there, you want to go up to website and go to edit site. Now, I think it's a really good rule of thumb to always keep your website open as well, so you can check your changes as you go through. So we're going to go to the edit website and start off here in the appearance tab. So in appearance, you can do a couple of things. You can change your logo. Now it's going to be our preset Coldwell Banker logos. If you are a global luxury certified agent, you will also have the option of using the global luxury logo. So you can switch over the logo to whichever one you like. And for today's class, I'm going to go ahead and just change his logo here. And then we want to launch the website wizard. So we're going to go into that. The first section here is your layout. So you've got three choices for your layout. You have the villa, which you'll notice is left aligned. You have the bungalow, which is center aligned. And then the third option is left aligned, but you'll notice that the tabs are now at top. And this banner that's here at the top is a solid. The other two are going to have more of a translucent or a transparency to the image that you put behind. Now, each of these different layouts has a different size dimensions for the image that you use. Now, there are some images here that you can choose from, which I'll show you in just a moment. But you can upload your own. I would highly suggest going to the link that's on the slides that I'm going to send out that'll take you to the different sizing for the different images and which layout you choose from. But for today's purposes, we're going to go with the Tudor. It seems to be my favorite right now. And we're going to switch to dark text with light background. Now, I want to just bring this up because I've noticed that the example here is actually the opposite of what this is going to show up as. So for instance, it says dark text, light background. For this option, though, it would have the blue here with the white at the top. So just keep that in mind. I've noticed that that's just a teeny little glitch there with their display of what it's going to look like. Okay, next up we choose our colors and fonts. Now it's got our preset brand standard colors here that you can choose from, but you can choose anything under the sun. So if you've got your own branding and your own color, you can swap that over to your hex. You can pop in and choose a different color, and then you can choose your secondary color. Now your secondary color is going to show up in a couple of spots. It's going to be the line and where you saw the white option in this layout, or the layout that we chose would be where this is going to lay. And I'll show you that. So you want to just kind of remember this, your primary and secondary colors. Your font style, there's not a huge variety of what to choose here. It's mostly going between, say, sort of a Times New Roman or just kind of like a more of a Calibri or Arial. I would say to match our kind of brand fonts, you probably get best with the railway option or that pop-ins options that's there. If you're going for more of a global luxury look, you can go towards more of this Cinzel here, and I believe we have one that's the crimson text, more of that New Times Roman look. I do encourage all of my agents to go with a darker text color, so either the gray, the dark blue, or the black. This light blue is the default, so if you've never hopped in here before to change the text color on your website, it will be this light blue. I just don't think it looks very good. It's not very modern. So pop in and change that over to a darker text color. And of course, if you want to match your primary color with your text color, you can do that. It looks really good. You just take that same hex and put it in here. And I'm going to keep this because for this specific agent, this is the color that he uses on a lot of his materials. So I'm going to keep that similar. So he's uploaded his own images throughout. This first one is here in Livermore, but these are some of our stock images that you can choose from. And to locate those, you just want to hit edit, go to choose, and then you can either upload your own here or go into our catalog and go to banners and choose from the different images that are here. And I realize that this is probably really little for you to look at, but as you go along, you can maybe follow this and choose the different images. Now you can choose up to 4 images for your website. They'll cascade through on a 7-second rotation. So you can choose those 4 different ones. If you have 4 of your own, you can put that in there. I'm just going to go ahead and say, let's choose this nice looking living room. Now, if I want to put in a headline, whatever you put in as the headline is going to be text on top of the image here, and be right in the center of the image. So if you wanted to do something where it was like living room or kitchen, or you wanted to do, this agent's name is Sean Leggett Real Estate, you could put that on the center there and hit save. Your meta description is going to be so that Google can recognize what that image is. And it's especially important for those that are visually disabled because they have the option of Google telling them what their cursor is covering and hovering over. So if you wanted someone that was visually impaired to also be able to have a description of what this image was of, you'd want to put that meta description in there and hit save. And you'll just go through that same process with each of the 4, you know, add a new image, you can remove, you can change the different flow, organization. Generally, what I've been seeing for a lot of agents is maybe one front of house, a couple interior, and a maybe backyard with a nice pool. But I'm going to leave that all up to you and your imagination. Then you want to go next, and here's where we review, and we have a couple of options. So with all of our websites by default, to search for a property, the search bar goes right in on top of the image here. And I actually think it gets lost. So I tend to remove that show property search on my page here. Now, it doesn't mean that I'm going to remove it altogether because I can add it back in as its own widget in just a little bit. Name is a little redundant, but because you have that agent bio card, but we're going to leave it for now. Company, again, a little redundant because we already have Coldwell Banker and the logo there. If you want to include your office phone, and then social links. So if you've added your social links to your about section in your account information, your profile, your social links will populate on your website right here at the top corner. And then just hit save. Once you hit save, especially with the appearance and while you're trying to figure out what you want it to look like, let's go back to what his website looked like before, and let's hit this refresh here and see what we've got now. Now, one thing I will just say right off the bat is when you change your logo over, it can take a little bit of time. It shouldn't take more than, say, a day or so. So if you come back and you're seeing the same blue logo, but you know you've switched it to white, you do want to go back and check your cached history and your images and remove those for, say, the last month or so, and then you'll see the updated logo. So that's why we're not seeing it updated here. It does take a little bit of time, and then you want to, of course, remove that history. All right. Next up, we're going to go into Pages. Now from Pages, we talked about adding in that search widget that we just removed from the image at the top here from your banner images. You can add, move, rearrange all of these different widgets. So this section here is the agent contact card bio summary. This is a widget itself. This is a widget. Here at the top, we have our featured properties, a custom widget, recently sold. So by default, you have a few widgets that are going to show up on here, and they're generally in the same order. But we're going to go through and see how to update all of that. So in order to add in that search, if we removed it from the picture, we're going to pop up to add widget, and we're just going to go with search properties. We're then prompted to give it a headline and choose our display. So I'm going to go for, let's say we want them to search for your dream home. Now you'll notice that this blue here, it's very similar to the blue he has, but it's not the same blue as you can see behind here. That's because this is just a placeholder. This is our primary color that we chose, and then this option would be our secondary, which for him was that super light gray. And then you have two white background options, one with each of the different choices for your clients to choose what they want to search for. And then here, just a real easy one that's similar to the one that we removed from the banner images. For today's purposes, though, I'm going to go ahead and I am going to choose our primary color to let you see what that looks like. Now, it's always going to drop this in at the very bottom. And like I said, you can move each one of these. So you'll notice as my cursor is hovered over this one, I get this gray bar at the top. You want to just grab that and you can pull it up and change the position of that widget. So now I have got the widget where I want it. Let's go into some more of these. So each one of these widgets has a different display that you can choose. So you want to go, so say we don't want to use necessarily this bio card. We want to go into the three dots at the top there and hit edit and go over and choose from a different option. So this would be that secondary gray color. I really like this one. It gives you your little agent bio card and it frames the picture with your primary color. And then you have just a picture with your contact information. This option is really good if most of your clientele is reaching your website via mobile device, as well as this option here. Now they all look good. They're all going to conform to whatever screen that it's looking at. So they're all mobile adaptive, but you want to choose the one that just fits your fancy. And I'm going to go with my good old favorite to let you see what that looks like. So we're going to hit save. And now we've changed the look of this. It's not as much blue, it's not blatantly in our face. You can, again, move this, edit this. We're going to go into how to add video here in just a moment. Now, one thing I will say is all of you have a default custom widget that's added for you with this in there, professional photography, single property website, so on and so forth, with the different services that you provide. I would highly encourage you to customize your custom widget. When you have the same exact content on multiple websites, it actually drops your search ranking. So the more custom content you have on your site, the higher your ranking will be. So he's done that here. He's changed this out and made it look like it was his marketing program and shown and featured one of his at-home Northern California TV commercials that he had for a listing concierge package. Now, community served can be changed as well. There's a few different options on how that displays. This is what he has currently. So he's got 3 options. So no matter what day of the week or who visits his site, it's going to have the same 3 featured communities. But say you had more communities, you can go into something like this where you're going to lump it into one big community. This is my least favorite, but it is an option for you where it just lists them out and you can upload a nice image. This is one where if you have multiple, so if you're going to do, 10, 15 different communities, this is a really good option for you. And we're going to get into the community served here in just a moment, but this is just how it displays on your website. And then the light gray option. So I'm going to actually swap him over to community served with the blue background and switch that out. So that looks really good. It's got the communities in the background. And I'm actually going to drop this down because I really like the way it looks when it frames your website. So I've got the blue here at the top, and then all the way at the bottom, I've got this nice blue here. Next up, we're going to swap out the recent sales. We're not going to swap it out, excuse me. We are actually going to hit edit and see the different display options. So you have this option. It is probably going to be the default one that pops up for you. Unless you have less than 4 sales, then you're probably going to get that really big option, which I don't think is a good one, but we'll walk through this. So this is just a stagnant tile. They can click on it and view those listings or those past sales. This one, though, is actually interactive. So as someone hovers their cursor over the image, it pops up with where it's at and the list price in the beds, baths. This is a nice option, but it's again stagnant. So it pops up with what the pricing is and where it was. And then this is that real big, this is going to, you'll see this on a lot of your sites as your default. So you can swap this out. This does not generally look good, especially on a desktop device, because of how landscaped this image is, and it does show just one at a time. So if you wanted to feature a couple of properties that you've sold, this option is a great one. I generally prefer this one though because of the interaction that it has. Okay, so you'll notice we have the featured listings widget here with no content in it. I know for a fact, though, that this agent has their MLS set up and that their IDX is live. So I will show you what you need to do to make sure content is always in this widget. But let's just double check and make sure he's got it set to the same as the sold properties. And I'm going to hit save there. And then because his agent bio card is up at top, I'm going to pull up his testimonials and bump them right under the agent. So it goes, it's a nice flow. So it's going to be about him, some testimonials, his featured home, what he can do for his clients, past sales, and then here will be the featured properties and his community served. You can also use the add widget at the bottom, but you'll notice it's always going to be right here at the top. So our next step, once we've got all of our edits where we like them, we're going to hit that preview and save. It's going to give us a preview, and what's really nice is from your desktop device, you can actually check out what it's going to look like here on the desktop, on a tablet, and on a mobile device. All right. So you can see it's auto constraining all of the images that are on there, making it look good no matter where it was. And I'm going to go save. You can't see it behind this question mark, which I've actually said this is a terrible place for the question mark, but go ahead and hit that save button. And then you want to close out. And we're going to go back over, and this is what his website was previously looking like. Refresh our browser. And now we've got a nicely framed image here at the top. We've got search for your dream home, that widget we added in, change the look of his bio card, testimonials. We've got our recent sales here, and very soon we will have those featured listings too. So I'll pause for just a moment when it comes to the home page. We're going to bump into a lot of different stuff here, but is there any questions when it comes to making edits to the home page and the different options there? Okay, if there are, feel free to use them, put them in the chat, and I will come back to it when we get to the end of today's class. Okay, so we're talking about those featured listings. Why were there no featured listings? Because you can feature all the listings from your office on your website. And this is actually something that kind of drives me a little nuts about Market Leader and the InTouch websites, but it is something you're going to want to remember to do, because as listings sell, from your office, they will archive off your featured listings. So it's just going to be those live and pending listings. So when you go up to, so what you want to do is you want to go to listings and then go to market my listings. Now it's going to by default hit his listing. So anything that you have on the market, that's what you're going to see first. A lot of the times you're not going to see anything here, so because you don't have anything on the market. But if you go into office listings in the drop-down menu here, here's where you can view all the listings from the office. So you just need to put a check mark on, say, a monthly basis and pop it right in to those listings to have them included on your website. So we're going to add a few here for him. It's a little tedious, but if you remember to do it on a monthly basis and not just once a year, you'll have content on there all the time. It won't be as many check marks. So a little bit of online maintenance every month is good for the soul. We'll just add a couple more here. And then what I want to do now is go back over to his live site, hit that refresh again. And we have our featured properties now populating. So just popping a check mark into the Market My Listings section under Office Listings will add that content there on your website. So I'm going to go back over to the edit site. So that's our featured listings. Next up is our community served. Now everyone has a community served page by default on their website. What you need to do is add those communities. So you want to come to the community served here, click that, and then just hit add community. Now, say he wants to add San Ramon. First thing you want to make sure is however you type this in, so if you're going to use lowercase letters or you're going to use all caps, make sure that's consistent across every one of the communities that you add. So I'm going to actually do San Ramon, and we've got that option here for me. Is this a primary community that I work in? If I check mark this box, it will display on my home page 100% of the time, and it will also display an image at the top of the communities page. And you can have up to, I believe, 5 primary communities that you serve. Now, when you add in all your communities, I don't want you to think about it as like no matter where it was, I'm just into real estate, or I will go anywhere to list anybody's property. That's not so much what I want you to think of this as. I want you to think of it more as a keyword search and kind of a background for Google to find your page. So you want to really stick with the communities that you're part of, your local, that you can be in all the time. And when you get those outlier listings, that's fantastic too, but they don't need to be your primary communities. Prior to, I want to say 2021, you did need to add in the zip code for the specific property so that the zip code information would pull through. That's no longer the case. So I can just type in San Ramon, and hopefully I can get to this. Okay. Now, this is a little teeny description that's at the very top, and we'll display it on the main image. So if you upload an image, it'll display on that image. So it should be very short community summary. And then this, if you wanted to add in some text or some helpful links, you can add that here. If you'd like these fun little characteristics to pop up, you can add in these little images to display on that page. All right, so we'll just have a little fun with that. If you want to upload an image to be displayed on that site again, like we were just talking about, so let me go over to my website images here. We'll just grab something fun. So say I wanted San Ramon to pop up with some poppies. Add that, upload. SEO title and meta description are very important. Again, we need to let Google know what's on this page. So we need to give this an SEO title. So something like San Ramon Real Estate by Sean Leggett. And then more in depth and more keywords here. So we want to do San Ramon homes for sale and market data for Usually I do San Ramon, but we can do by Sean Leggett. Let's see. Okay, so now we've got San Ramon. Did I not choose? That's weird. Why does it say custom map area? You can draw a map area. I should have brought that up actually. If you have like a smaller community, so say you're in Walnut Creek and it's Rossmore for the 55 and up, you can just choose that specific neighborhood and give it its own name. But for the most part, we're going to be using that area name. So let me see if I can actually get this to go this time for me. Now, also keep in mind that the information is going to be pulling directly from your MLS. So you want to stay pretty close to what your MLS is. It's not going to let me pick it. There we go. Oh, again. Well, let's hit save and see what happens. Maybe we'll draw it on the map. That should be fun. San Ramon is up here. As an example of drawing the boundaries, we can just and give it a big swirl, draw a map. And it just captures that phrase. It's a real easy option as well. And hit save, and this time we will actually have data on there, hopefully. So go back over to his website. Let's refresh that. Where does that display? It's going to be in two places. Of course, we have it here. San Ramon is our option. You can see since I did all caps and these have lowercase, it looks a little funky. So that's why I brought that to your attention. You can click through and go directly to the San Ramon page. This is how that image is going to display. These are those little icons that we added. And it also pulls in the property information, so average listing price, price per square foot, and then your new listings within that boundary area. If you were going to do it more by the city name, you get a city search here, and then of course he doesn't have any images uploaded, so that does look nice. You know, you can go to, and I will provide this in the recap, but pexels.com is great, and so is Unsplash for free images to use. So if you're looking for something specific, that might be a great option for you. And then because we chose San Ramon as our major or main community, you'll notice it's here at the top as opposed to in alphabetical order. So if you wanted those main communities, just check mark that at the top of the communities page. I'm going to go ahead and remove San Ramon now because he is a Tri-Valley agent and wants to keep it very specific to that. Don't want to make too many unnecessary changes here. Any questions on community served? Okay, cool. Testimonials. You can very easily add testimonials. You can add as many as you'd like. There is a character count cap. I believe it's 1,500. All you need to do is pop right in here, paste your testimonial in, who it was provided by, how you're related to that person, and then hit save. You cannot make edits after they're added though. So I just want to bring that to your attention because I'm seeing an error here that I'm going to have to come back and fix. And I'm just going to, what I'll do is I'll copy this before I delete it and then add a new one with that in there. And why don't we just do that? So if you needed to make a change, you do have to, where was that? Period and an exclamation mark. And who was this by? I got it. Susie Fulmer. Hit save. Okay, and I'm going to remove the bad one here. We made that update pretty easily. All right, so testimonials populates on 2 spots on your website. It's going to be, of course, on your home page, wherever you choose to add that widget in the order. And then it's also going to be on the about page. So you can see we go from his about to featured listings, and then your testimonials will be listed after those sold and featured listings on your about page. So 2 spots for the testimonials. Okay, now we're going to get into the fun stuff. So we talked a little bit about adding video, and we saw that video on his homepage. And what we want to do, if you wanted to add a video, you can add it to any page on your site. You just need to go up to Add Widget and go to Custom Content. That's the one you want to choose. Now, same thing here. So we're going to just say, because I grabbed the video, so we're going to say Global Luxury. Maybe we want to have the background not be white for this one, so we're going to go to our secondary color, which is that light gray. Hit next. Now, to add video, what you need to do is grab the embedded code. And how do you go about doing that? Is heading over to YouTube or Vimeo, whichever one you use, or wherever that video is housed. And to grab the embedded code from the YouTube, you want to go to Share, and then right here you have Embedded. You can change the start time if you'd like to. So say your section of the video didn't start until 2 minutes in, you pop that start time in there. Otherwise, just keep it where it is, hit copy. And then we're going to head back over to our website page. We want to go into the source code. We're going to paste that right in there and hit save. Now we've got our video in, but our video is left aligned and maybe we want it to be centered. So you just want to highlight this video and then you want to go over and center. And sometimes this can be a little bit of a pain. So just give it 1 or 2, try and get it highlighted and hit center. It's gotten a lot easier. Hit next, review it, save those changes. And again, it's going to add that to the very bottom. So I want to maybe change this and bring it back up to where I have the other video. So we'll have it drop in right after that featured property. And Global Luxury, hit review and save. Save it again. Close. And now you can go back and refresh that home page and you will have the video you added to your site. And again, you can add that to any page on your website. So it's not really necessary to put it on your home page. Maybe you do a bunch of videos and you want to have a videos page on your website. That is something that you absolutely can add. Now you'll notice here for Sean, he's got a lot of tabs at the top. So first thing I'm thinking to myself is I want to clean those up so they display well on a desktop device. They have changed it that for a mobile device or a tablet, you're going to have one of those hamburger menus. So it won't be all the tabs at the top and just kind of really long on a smaller device. So you don't have to worry about it on those. But for his website and having all of those on there, we do want to sort of combine some of these different tabs. So what I'm going to do is I just want to, so say I want to add the Contact Me to be a sub tab underneath About. I'm just going to click down and grab that, and then I want to pull this in so that it's kind of like a bullet point under About. That will indicate that it's a sub tab. If I wanted to add this Global Luxury to say my resources, I can come on over and save that to my resources and then just hit save and wait for the congratulations, you've made your changes, and it will update that for you. To add a new page, you can actually add 3 types of pages. So let's take a look at what those are. You can add a page. So that's going to be something that you actually are adding content to, and like your video or an image or some sort of information that you want to display on your site. A menu item is just going to be a tab where you can put sub tabs to, and then a link if you want it to open up to a completely different site. So maybe you want to direct people to school scores or to new home construction. You can add those links in, give it a title, and as soon as they click on that link, it'll take them directly to it. Now we're going to go over an example of this. And what I want to do, because he's already got reports, so I'm going to show you real quick what we did here. So menu item, all I can do is rename, because that's all that comes up when you add in a menu item. It's not going to take you anywhere. It's not going to be clickable. It's just a title of that tab. And I'll show you that in just a moment. So that is what his real estate reports is. And then we've added these linked tabs below with the community reports, or the, area reports in Prospect Square. Now, how did we go about doing that? We just need to go into Prospect Square, into your account, go over to your reports. And what's great about the area reports is they're already created for you. Area reports are going to be on a monthly basis per city. Your quarterly reports are going to be on a quarterly basis and updated. They're live links. Hopefully I don't get this wheel of shame. And quarterly report is going to be obviously quarterly and by county. I like using the quarterly report for two reasons. One, because it just makes your life a whole heck of a lot easier, and it provides all of the information for the entire community. And the second reason is, on the quarterly report at the very bottom of those reports is all of the different city area reports. So they can access all of the area reports for that county via the quarterly reports. So as soon as this hopefully populates here for me, I'll give you a peek at what that looks like and how we go about adding those. Now, for some reason, InTouch does not like the links that we have for our area reports. So as soon as we can get in here, hopefully, fingers crossed, I don't have to back all the way out. As soon as we get in here, we get in, we copy that link, and then we want to take it over to Bitly, because Bitly will shorten that link for us, and Market Leader will then accept those links. So fingers crossed here, people. Okay, great. So when you go to quarterly report, you're going to come to a page, nothing's on it. That's because this first page is what quarterly reports you have people set up to receive. As I said, the quarterly and area reports are already created. So you just need to go to the preview and share section here, and you've got links to all of those. And as I said, they all include all of the city information for the area reports. So for instance, if I go into Santa Clara here and I scroll down on this report, at the very end of it is going to be all the live links to the monthly reports for each city. So this is why I choose generally to use this report. And it's going to make your life a whole heck of a lot easier too, because you're only going to have to add 1 or 2 different reports versus 5 or 6 different reports. So I'm going to copy this link. I'm going to go over to, again, Bitly, and I will include links to all of this in the recap. And you just need to get started. And let me go to the free here. Come on, baby. Okay, so hit that. You want to paste your link right in here, shorten it, copy that. Being a pain. Okay, we shorten and copy that link. And then we go over to Market Leader, and we just come in, we're going to add, and this time we're going to use that link, paste your URL here, give it Santa Clara County, and hit save. So now I have a new link on my site, and I want to put it underneath my real estate report. So I'm just going to drag that, drop it, and hit save. And now I've got not as many tabs, of course, at the top, so we're fitting onto my one screen. And I've got my Santa Clara County here. Now, when I click on this, it's going to pop open to a new window with that real estate report. And again, those are live links, so you're never going to have to update them. They'll always be there and have the most up-to-date information that is available. All right. Any questions on adding in pages, adding in links, adding in tabs? Okay. All right, cool. Then the last section I'm going to do here for you is kind of a fun one. So if you go to your website and you just want to go ahead and put advanced search and hit enter, it's going to take you to a page where you can create an advanced search. So say you wanted to have a page on your website that featured the open houses on your website. Now, what I got to do first, unfortunately, I apologize, but this is good to show you. I did bring this up in my 101 class, but to add options to your listing search on your website, you can pop into options here and add in anything. So if you want someone to be able to, like we said, search for open houses or 55 plus communities, you need to pop into the options here and add those so that they populate on your website when they go to that advanced search option. So say I wanted someone to be able to look for properties in Livermore, California. Don't care about the price, but I do want to see what's going to be open and search that. So these are all the open houses this weekend, which is awesome. I can take this then link and take it back to Market Leader and to my pages and now create a new page, just a linked page with that link that says Livermore open houses and hit save. Now we've got Livermore open houses on his website. We can back over here. Again, I'm going to have too many tabs now, but I'm going to remove that anyway. So refresh this for him. Maybe I need to push save here first. All right. And now I've got my Livermore open houses. And that takes me back to that, and it'll just keep updating with the information as it feeds in through the MLS. All right, well, that pretty much concludes website updates and enhancements. Do we have any questions from anybody, anything you'd like me to go over? Now's your time, ask those questions. All right, well, thank you very much for joining me today. I hope that it was helpful info, John, and I hope maybe you got some answers and maybe some ideas from today's class. If you need assistance with any of this, though, please don't hesitate to reach out, and I will send both and whoever else was here a copy of the recording of this class and some other helpful links and sites and things, resources that you can have for your websites. Thank you very much, everybody. Have a great week.